Merry Christmas 2022 from our version of the Dickens Village. This is a project my wife mostly worked on. I helped her a little bit, but she's the visionary behind this, and she does this every year for our family, and we all like it a lot. It takes a lot of effort, but it's worth it because it's so pretty. And some of these are antique pieces, and some of these she's collected over the years from different places we visited, and it just turns out nice. So let's take a little stroll through the 2022 version of the Dickens Village. We're going to start right off with some old familiars. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. And that's how we're kicking off our 2022 version of the Dickens Village with the 12 Days of Christmas that we've collected. And here's a handsome cab getting ready to go through the main part of our town, down, I guess you'd call it Main Street. And here we have the Nutcracker Shop, where they've got all sorts of Christmas goodies in the window. We've got some folks, I think that's a vendor selling probably some different kinds of Christmas goodies back there. And we've got an apple vendor. I think that's a chestnut vendor back there. And then we've got a coffee vendor behind them. We've got some people working on this cold day. They're getting their roof thatched so they can have some warmth in the greengrocer. We've got a couple taking a stroll, getting ready to stroll down Main Street. And here comes a family with their team of horses and their wagon. And they're going by the butcher shop. And it looks like there's a little piggy there that might have got out of the butcher shop. That little piggy went to market, but he found his way out. And then we've got a candle maker here. And we've got, this is one of my favorites, we've got these people skating. And this is so fun to see. And then they've got a place there for them to have a fire to warm up afterwards. And here's a couple, and it looks like this young lady's holding some mistletoe over her head for her young gentleman friend. Moving on up, we've got the Grand Opera House. And it looks like there's some big goings on there this wintry day. And look, it's Fezziwig's place. You remember Fezziwig? This is a Dickens Village, so we've got Fezziwig's place of business, and you might see some other names that ring a bell from different Dickens works. But this gentleman here is selling wood. And moving along, we've got the Poulterer, and it looks like they've got the biggest turkey in town. That may come in handy later on in our Christmas Carol story. There's Faversham Lamps and Oil. And here's another business, the Christmas Cubby. Look at all the goings on in there. I love the details in some of these buildings. Now you'll remember this building. This is Scrooge and Marley, Ebenezer Scrooge's place of business. And here comes old Ebenezer Scrooge through his gate from his house. Bah humbug, he says early on in our story about Christmas. Let's move over here to this part of town, and we've got a winter scene here with some frozen water, and we've got some ducks and geese, and we've got some children playing out in the winter snow with their little dog. We've got the nice warm Crown and Cricket pub, which looks like a warm place to spend this cold day. The children made a snowman, and it looks like this deer found the carrot on the snowman's nose. And there's some other deer back in the woods going out towards the country. And of course there's a church right on the edge of town. Let's take a stroll into the country. Here we've got Greenbrook Stables, where they're training horses and riding horses. And then we've got this farm, this cattle farm. They've got some beef cattle and dairy cattle. And look over here, we've got another church along with the town's well. And continuing on into the country, we've got this young lady feeding her chickens. And then if we go up the hill, there's a young man feeding some calves. And his mother's feeding some chickens and some lambs. Here comes some boys with a load of wood with their dog. He's carrying a stick of wood too. And then we've got another farm dog in this doghouse, and it's ready for Santa Claus to come. Here's where Bob Cratchit lives. Here comes a family with a team of oxen, and they've got a load of wood and their Christmas tree. And then continuing on through the country, we've got a country church. And they've got everything ready for Christmas time. So zooming back out, we'll give you sort of the aerial view of our 2022 Dickens Village. And here's wishing all of you a very Merry Christmas 2022 and a very happy 2023.